Hello, guys and gals, and this is part 18 of our reading of Leaves of Gold. Leaves of Gold is an anthology of prayers, memorable phrases, inspirational verse, and prose from the best authors of the world, both ancient and modern, edited by Clyde Francis Lytle. Now, we're going to go over the copyright information, which clearly says revised edition, 12th printing, 1964, copyright 1938 by Evan S. Coslet, revised 1948 by Donald G. Remley, copyright 1948 by A.C. and D.G. Remley. And it is published by the Coslet Publishing Company out of Williamsport, Pennsylvania, printed in the United States of America. And we are going to pick this up where we left off at chapter 18. And this is going to be about memory. Chapter 18 is on memory. So let's get started. What to forget? If you would increase your happiness and prolong your life, forget your neighbor's faults. Forget all the slander you have ever heard. Forget the temptations. Forget the fault finding. And give a little thought to the cause which provoked it. Forget the peculiarities of your friends and only remember the good points which makes you fond of them. Forget all personal quarrels or histories you may have heard by accident and which, if repeated, would seem 1,000 times worse than they are. Blot out as far as possible all the disagreeables of life. They will come, but will only grow larger when you remember them. And the constant thought of the acts of meanness, or worse, still malice, will only tend to make you more familiar with them. Obliterate everything disagreeable from yesterday. Write upon today's clean sheet those things lovely and lovable. Next we have the scent of roses. Let fate do her worst. There are relics of joy, bright dreams of the past, which she cannot destroy, which come in the night time of sorrow and care, and bring back the features that joy used to wear. Long, long be my heart with such memories filled, like a vase in which roses have once been distilled. You may break, you may shatter the vase if you will, but the scent of roses will hang around it still. That is by Thomas More. Next we have rejoice. Grave on the heart each past. O grave on thy heart each past. Red letter day. Forget not all the sunshine of the way by which the Lord hath led thee, answered prayers, and joys unmasked, strange blessings, lifted cares. Grand promise echoes, thus thy life shall be one record of his love and faithfulness to thee. That is by F. R. Havergal. Next we have they say, die when I may, I want it said of me by those who knew me best, that I always plucked a thistle and planted a flower where I thought a flower would grow. That is by Abraham Lincoln. Next we have remember. Remember me when I am gone away, gone far away into the silent land, when you can no more hold me by the hand, nor I half turn to go yet turning stay. Remember me when no more day by day you tell me of our future that you planned. Only remember me, you understand, it will be late to counsel then or pray. Yet if you should forget me for a while and afterwards remember, do not grieve. For if the darkness and corruption leave a vestige of the thoughts that once I had, better be far you should forget and smile than that you should remember and be sad. That's by Christina G. Rossetti. Next we have forget. It's better to forget the things that hurt us and to live each day and take whatever comes, with the hope that by tomorrow there will come a balm for sorrow and help to master life's important sums. There's a strength comes to us every time we suffer, and our will grows stronger every time we fight. Let us then be doubly grateful for the things that disappoint us. They only come to lead us to the light. That is by Helen Moxett Stork. Next we have memorabilia. My mind lets go 1,000 things, like dates and wars and deaths of kings, and yet recalls the very hour 'twas noon by yonder village tower, and on the last blue noon in May, the wind came briskly up this way, crisping the brook beside the road, then pausing here, set down its load of ancient pine scents and shook listlessly 2 petals from the wild rose tree. That is by Thomas Bailey Aldrich. Next we have Sainted. He loved the house of God, his dearest wish to be a minister within her walls, in service full and free. Beautifully he lived. We who will love we who loved him know, blessing with kindly hands our dead, softening death's cruel blow. Beautifully he died. The temple floors he trod, to pass to his reward within the altar of his God. That is by Estella Shields Farringer. Next we have Remember. Remember the value of time, the success of perseverance, the pleasure of working, the dignity of simplicity, the worth of character, the power of kindness, the influence of example, the obligation of duty, the wisdom of economy, the virtue of patience, the improvement of talent, and the joy of originating. That is by Bulletin. Anyway, next is The Coin. Into my heart's treasury I slipped a coin that time cannot rust, nor a thief purloin. Oh, better than the minting of a gold-crowned king is the safe-kept memory of a lovely thing. That's by Sarah Teasdale, from the collected poems of Sarah Teasdale by permission of the Macmillan Company publishers. Okay, next we have Forget It. Forget the slander you have heard. Forget the hasty, unkind word. Forget the quarrel and the cause. Forget the whole affair, because forgetting it's the only way. Forget the storm of yesterday. Forget the chap whose sour face forgets the smile in any place. Forget you're not a millionaire. Forget the gray streaks in your hair. Forget the coffee when it's cold. Forget to kick. Forget to scold. Forget the plumber's awful charge. Forget the iceman's bill at large. Forget the coalman and his ways. Forget the winter's blustery days. That's by Anonymous. Next we have... Yep, got it. Think on these things. Psychologists tell us that the vividness of our memory depends on the stress of attention. Therefore, says St. Paul, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. Next we have you. Deep in the heart of me, nothing but you. See through the art of me, deep in the heart of me. Find the best part of me. Changeless and true, deep in the heart of me, nothing but you. That is by Ruth Guthrie Harding. Think on these things. What to remember, what to forget, that is the question. It seems to me that the good things, the heavenly guidance, the help that other men have given us to keep the right path, are the things to remember. The mistakes, the false leads, the devilish influences, and are the things to forget. Love can never lose its own. Yet love will dream and faith will trust, since he who knows our needs is just. That somehow, somewhere, meet we must. Alas for him who never sees. The stars shine through his cypress trees, who hopeless lays his dead away, nor looks to see the breaking day across the mournful marbles play, who hath not learned the hours of faith, the truth to flesh and sense unknown, that life is ever Lord of death, and love can never lose its own. That is by John Greenleaf Whittier. Next we have Hymn. Dr. S.D. Gordon tells of an old Christian woman whose age began to tell on her memory. She had once known much of the Bible by heart. Eventually, only one precious bit stayed with her. I know whom I have believed, and am persuaded that he is able to keep that which I have committed unto him against that day. By and by, part of that slipped its hold, and she would quietly repeat, that which I have committed unto him. At last, as she hovered on the borderland between this and the spirit world, her loved ones noticed her lips moving. They bent down to see if she needed something. She was repeating over and over again to herself that one word of the text, him, him, him. She had lost the whole Bible but one word, but she had the whole Bible in that one word. Because of your strong faith, I kept the track, whose sharpest stones my strength had well nigh spent. I could not meet your eyes if I turned back, so on I went. Because you would not yield belief in me, and threatened the threatening crags that rose my way to bar, I conquered inch by crumbling inch to see the goal afar. And though I struggle towards it through hard years, our flinch or falter blindly, yet within you can unwavering my spirit hears, and I shall win. Keep on before you give up hope. Turn back and read the attacks that were made upon Lincoln. That is by Bruce Barton. Next we have, there is a remembrance of the dead to which we turn even from the charms of the living. This we would not exchange for the song of pleasure or the bursts of revelry. That's by Washington Irving. Safety zones. In great crisis, the memory of the world of some wise and gracious teacher often comes to our rescue, and the new and bewildering experience in which we stand assumes a familiar and orderly aspect. We are set free from fear and panic and enabled to act with sanity and wisdom. For those whose memory is full of the words of Christ, there is strength in all life's emergencies. Joy's recollection is no longer joy, while sorrow's memory is sorrow still. That is by Byron. Next we have Roadside Meetings. A little more tired at close of day, a little less anxious to have our way, a little less ready to scold and blame, a little more care for a brother's name. And so we are nearing the journey's end, when time and eternity meet and blend. The book is closed and the prayers are said, and we are part of the countless dead. Thrice happy, then, if some soul can say, I live because he has passed this way. That's by Stephen Crane. Next we have Memory is Not Wisdom. Idiots can by rote repeat volumes, yet what is wisdom without memory? That is by Tupper. Next is The True Art of Memory is the Art of Attention, and that is by Johnson. Next we have Defined. Memory is the cabinet of imagination, the treasury of reason, the registry of conscience, and the council chamber of thought. That is by Basil. Next we have Compensation. If the memory is more flexible in childhood, it is more tenacious in mature age. If childhood has sometimes the memory of words, old age has that of things, which impress themselves according to the clearness of the conception of the thought which we wish to retain. And that is by Bonstetten. Next is Book of Judgment. That memory is the Book of Judgment. I can well believe I have indeed seen the same thing asserted in modern books, and accompanied by a remark which I am convinced is true, namely that the dread book of account, which the scriptures speak of, is in fact the mind itself of each individual. Of that at least I feel assured. And there is no such thing as forgetting. Possible to the mind, 1,000 accidents may and will interpose a veil between our present consciousness and the secret inscriptions on the mind. Accidents of the same sort will also rend away the veil. But whether veiled or unveiled, the inscription remains forever, just as the stars seem to withdraw before the common light of day. Whereas, in fact, we know that that is the light which is drawn over them as a veil, and that they are waiting to be revealed when the obstructing daylight shall have withdrawn. That is by De Quincey. A joy forever. A memory without blot or contamination must be an exquisite treasure and inexhaustible source of pure refreshment. And that is by Charlotte Bronte. And that is it for this one. We will start chapter 19 with mysticism later. We have been reading from Leaves of Gold, and this is a book edited by Clyde Francis Lytle, and we've been reading specifically chapter 18 on memory. If you like this content, make sure you like and subscribe and ring the bell so you know when I upload. Also, if you want to support me in any way, if you want to join the Discord server, all the information will be in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.